Hello, Dr. Naina Shah here, your integrative doctor, and I'm so glad you are joining me for Chapter 5, Normal Parameters of the Menstrual Cycle. Welcome to you. Understanding what's normal for your menstrual cycle is a game changer when it comes to tracking your health and fertility. This knowledge puts you in the driver's seat, helping you spot any irregularities and take the right steps to address them. By knowing the normal parameters, you will gain deeper understanding into your own cycles, what's working smoothly, and what might need a little extra attention. And in the next chapter, we will take it a step further by exploring how to track your cycle, helping you determine if your parameters are within the normal range or if there are any signs that need a closer look. Let's get empowered with this essential knowledge. In this chapter, we will be taking a closer look at the average values for some key aspects of your menstrual cycle. We will cover the length of the cycle, the length of menstrual flow, average blood loss and how to measure it, and we will also look at some features so that you can identify if your flow is heavy. We have already covered the changes in cervical mucus and the shifts in waking basal body temperature back in chapter 4. But we will briefly revise these points to refresh our memories as they are relevant to this chapter as well. Remember, your menstrual cycle officially kicks off on day 1 of your normal flow. No, the light spotting doesn't count, and it wraps up the day before your next cycle begins. The average menstrual cycle length is usually 28 days, but here is the real deal. It can range from 21 to 35 days, and that's still perfectly normal. Think of it as your cycle's own unique rhythm with a little wiggle room to keep things interesting. It's totally normal for your cycle length to vary slightly from month to month, but if you start noticing significant changes, it might be your body's way of sending you a little warning sign. For instance, if your cycles are usually around 33-34 days and suddenly start shifting to 27-28 days, that's a shift worth paying attention to. For instance, let's say your period started on Sunday, April 15th, and your next period rolled around on May 13th. That would be a textbook 28-day cycle right on the dot. For someone else, their period might start on April 15th and the next one shows up on May 18th, a 33-day cycle, which still falls comfortably within the normal range. Some irregularities in cycle lengths are totally normal and can happen thanks to things like travel, a bout of illness, or even just minor stress. Life happens, right? But if you notice a trend towards cycles consistently getting shorter or longer, that's when it's time to pay closer attention. Such changes could be signaling underlying health issues like perimenopause, hypothyroidism, PCOS, etc. Conditions that we will cover more deeply in upcoming chapters. Now let's move on to the length of menstrual flow. Typically, menstrual bleeding lasts anywhere from 2 and 7 days, with most women experiencing 3 to 5 days of bleeding. That's the average range. So, whether your period is a quick visit of 2 days or stays a bit longer, for example, for 7 days, it's all part of your unique cycle rhythm. You might also notice some light spotting for a day or two before or after your main period days, and that's usually nothing to stress about. Think of it as your body's gentle warm up or cool down before and after the main flow. However, if spotting sticks around for more than 2 days, it's worth keeping an eye on. Now let's talk about average blood loss during your period. Generally, the amount of blood lost ranges between 30 to 80 milliliters, with the average sitting around 50 mL, about 2 to 5 tablespoons if you are trying to picture it. If your flow is around 25 ml or less, it's considered abnormally low. On the flip side, if you are losing more than 80 ml, that's on the heavier side of the things and is considered abnormally heavy flow. In a more practical sense, you can get a good estimate of your menstrual blood loss by keeping track of your sanitary products. Here is how you can do it. Regular pads and tampons hold about 5 ml of blood. Super pads and tampons hold about 10 ml of blood. To estimate your blood loss, and if you are using standard pad or tampon, if it is half full, the blood loss is 2.5 ml, and if it is fully soaked, it is 5 ml. On the other hand, if you are using super pad or tampon, and if it is half full, the loss is 5 ml, and if it is fully soaked, the loss is 10 ml. Period underwear is another product that has become pretty popular among women as it offers convenience and effectiveness. Depending on the brand and absorbency level, period underwear can hold anywhere from 5 ml to a whooping 50 ml of menstrual flow. It's always a good idea to check the specific product description to know exactly how much your period underwear can handle. For instance, this particular brand suggests it can hold about 25 ml. And then make a note how full it is. Menstrual cups are another popular and eco friendly option for managing menstrual flow. Menstrual cup capacity varies from 15 ml to 40 ml. To determine the exact capacity of your menstrual cup, check the specific product description. Now let's talk about heavy flow. Recognizing the signs of a heavier than usual period can help you determine if your menstrual flow is outside the typical range and might need some medical attention. Here are some key indicators to keep an eye on. If you are soaking through pads, tampons, or period underwear in less than 2 hours, that's a sign your flow might be on the heavy side. If you are using two forms of protection at once, for example, tampons with pads or cup with pads to prevent leaks, is another red flag. If you are passing gushes of blood, which can feel like significant amount of blood moving through the vagina at once. Also, if you are noticing a considerable amount of blood in the toilet bowl after using the bathroom. And if bleeding lasts more than 7 days, it can also point to a heavy period. Also, if you are passing large clots that are larger than 2 centimeters indicate a heavier flow. Let's take a moment to revisit two key parameters of your menstrual cycle: cervical mucus and the rise in basal body temperature. These two indicators are like your body's little messengers, giving you valuable insights into where you are in your cycle. As we have seen earlier, cervical mucus changes throughout the cycle, providing important clues about your fertility. During the early part of your cycle, mucus is typically minimal and sticky. As the estrogen levels rise, it becomes more abundant, clear, stretchy, and slippery, the famous egg white cervical mucus, signaling that ovulation is near and your body is at peak fertility. Basal body temperature is a crucial parameter because it helps us understand whether you have ovulated healthily and if you are producing enough progesterone. After ovulation, during the luteal phase, progesterone kicks in and causes a rise in your basal body temperature by about zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.6 degrees Celsius. During this phase, your temperature typically ranges from 36.4 to 37 degrees Celsius. A sustained rise in temperature for at least 10 days is a great sign. It tells us that ovulation was healthy and that you are producing adequate progesterone. It's like your body's way of giving a thumbs up that everything is on track hormonally. As we wrap up this chapter, let's recap the key points we covered. This information will be invaluable when we dive into tracking your menstrual cycle as a diagnostic tool, which I will explain in the next chapter. We discussed menstrual cycle length and the typical duration of menstrual bleeding, highlighting what's considered normal and what might signal a need for further attention. We explored how to estimate blood loss using sanitary products, giving you a practical way to track your flow. We also identified indicators of a heavy flow, including large clots, frequent changes of sanitary products, leaking and flooding, signs that your periods might be on the heavier side. Lastly, we revised the changes in cervical mucus during peak fertility and the rise in waking basal body temperature after ovulation, key indicators of your cycle's natural rhythm. Thank you for your attention, my friend. I hope all this knowledge empowers you to better understand and track your menstrual health, turning your cycle into a powerful diagnostic tool.